I seem to have lost you, so I'm going to go ahead and just make a recording here and um, let you know what I was going to talk about. So, the purpose of this activity was for us to think about what the role of government is, right? And so, when we think about what governments should be doing, or the way in which a society should be run, it almost always involves rules. How are you going to get people to cooperate? How are you going to get people to be on the same page? How are you going to stop people from hurting each other, right? Um, well, during the 1700s, this was a topic of of great significance. People like John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Baron Montague, these are people who asked that very same question and tried to devise strategies for creating the perfect society. And the thoughts and ideas that culminated out of this were called republicanism, right? So we know that we have a republic in the United States, but republicanism is more than a system of government. It's a set of values, right? And that set of values includes limited government, popular sovereignty, and other terms that we're going to learn about starting next class. Now, there is a quote here that I'm going to read to you guys from Federalist 51. And Federalist 51 is one of the documents that we're going to be learning about in this class. Federalist 51 is written by James Madison, and the Federalist Papers are written in defense of the new government, the new republic, the Constitution. And Jasmine had summarized this problem very nicely, and she was going to share it before the Dade School's computers crashed. So this is this is the quote. But what is government itself but the greatest of all reflections on human nature? If men were angels, no government would be necessary. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls on government would be necessary. In framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, the great difficulty lies in this: you must first enable the government to control the governed, and then in the next place, oblige it to control itself. In other words, if people were angels, meaning if people were nice and always followed the rules, you wouldn't need a government. An anarchist society would work. If we were governed by angels, then that government, you would expect it to be perfect, right? But the problem is that we have a government run by people and full of people. So you need that government, and this is what the founders acknowledged, right? That you do need a government in society, or you're not going to have a good life. But at the same time, that government itself is run by people, and people are prone to corruption. So the big question in creating the Constitution and in creating the Articles of Confederation and creating all of all the experiments that we tried before we finally settled on the form of government that we have today is, how do you execute Republican values? Or in other words, it's what he says here at the end. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. The founders were basically trying to create a government where the people would be protected from an abusive, powerful government, but at the same time, that they had a government that was strong enough to help people live in harmony and live successful lives. So I'm going to send you guys a list of terms to research, and I simply want you to research them. No work is due until next. I'm not going to assign any work until next week. But I want you to read the Declaration of Independence, right? Because the Declaration of Independence is like a manifesto, right? This is what Americans believe, and it's the culmination of about 100 years of political science, 100 years of people thinking about how to create the perfect government and what that government should look like. And it marks a stark line in history. There is life before the American Revolution and life after. And you can see the shift in ideas in the document, the Declaration of Independence. So read it, research the terms I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you some resources as well. And remember to do your digital citizenship, complete the syllabus, and I believe that's it. So I see you again on Tuesday. I look forward to it. I think we're going to have a great year. And that is all. I'll see you guys later.